Right.
Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is a handover of the Elddis signature CV60. So as we start the walk round on the driver's side of the vehicle first, the first main point you get to is your LPG filler. So this vehicle is fitted with a 25 litre underslung gas tank, so it's refillable from all LPG centres and petrol stations that sell LPG. And all you need to do is remove the cap. It's a bayonet fitting, so you get your nozzle, turn it, lock it onto the bayonet fitting and pull the trigger back. What that'll do is it'll allow you to press the button on the display of the pump and fill the vehicle with gas until it simply stops filling. Once it stops filling, it is full. And something like this from empty should take about £25 worth of LPG. Here you have your cassette toilet, so there's a magnet on this one which sticks to the side of the van, and then to get the cassette out you'd lift the orange handle and slide it out. You then remove the cap, so it's like this, take it to the waste disposal point, which you can either carry it or you can wheel it if it's heavy. And then to empty, all you need to do is press the orange button at the back, tip the content of the cassette out. Once you've tipped it out, a little bit of water in here, give it a rinse, tip out again, then you'd fill either the cap full or you can just tip some blue or green liquids down here, about 120 millilitres worth of liquid in here, and then put the cap back on and it's good to go back into the vehicle. If you don't use the liquids, you can use the tablets, which is a tablet to a pint of water, which you drop down the cassette, the tablet, which will break down into the liquid in the cellophane format. It's up to you whether you use the liquid or the tablet. And see what the site wants you to use, whether it's the blue or the green, because the green is more economically friendly now and environmentally friendly as well. Grey and blue, so grey is dirty water waste outlet. So you drive over your waste outlet on site and open the valve, and that'll allow the water out. And blue is fresh water drain off, so should you've taken on contaminated water or you're not using the van for a couple of weeks, there's no need why you should have water in it. Or if you're draining it down fully for the winter, where you're draining it all down, you have no water on board left, otherwise it could freeze. So you just open it up and drain that off fully. So open them both from outside, as you don't want the water to freeze in the tanks underneath, as it isn't covered under warranty. So you'd open these two first. This is just your flue for your heater and water heater, so you may get condensation on there and you may get steam coming from there. That's fine, that is just a flue. Same with the one further back, that's a flue for the heater as well. One's an intake, one's an outtake. That's your extake, that's your intake for your heater. Fresh water fill point, so this is where you would fill with a hose pipe. So carry a hose pipe and some hose pipe connections, as it's mainly just a brass tap on site. Hose pipe into there and fill until it either overflows or until you're happy you've got enough water on board. Wheel, under this wheel flap you've got your external socket. So should you want power outside the motorhome, there's a socket there. As long as you're hooked up, this will work. You can put an extension in there, chuck it underneath the van and pull it out on the right side where the awning is. And then you do have your hooker point, so you hook the vehicle up, get your hooker blade, lift the collar, slide it on here first, hook the vehicle up first, then the power source, so that you're not walking around with a live lead in your hand, and then do it in reverse order when unhooking. At the back of the vehicle, you've got your high level brake light, and built into that surround is your rear view camera, reverse camera. At the back on the barn doors, you can press the buttons and you can pull them out to 90 degrees. So if you park somewhere nice and you want the view, you can open the back doors, or you want to load something in, you can. But just watch, if you're fitting a bike rack to that, then obviously you can't do that now because it can break your back lights. But if you don't have any bike racks on, then you still can. We've got some storage underneath there, and in this cover here, if you lift the top off, that is the location of your leisure battery. Come round to the passenger side of the van. So you've got your awning, which will insert the video to the awning now, so you can see how the awning works. Got your electric step, which will retract with the ignition and engine being switched on, and then you do have your fly screen. And there, at the passenger door, this is the location of your diesel filler. So it opens with the main fade key at the top, and you can fill with diesel fuel. And then underneath, you've got AdBlue. So as it's a new Euro 6 compliant engine, diesel engine, it does take AdBlue. So this is a 19-litre tank on a Ducato. It'll tell you on the dash when it needs it. You can view your level on the dash, which I'll go through when I'm in the cab. Top this up as soon as the light comes on. So just go to your local filling station. AdBlue's now widely available on the pump as well as in the barrels. 19 litres, it'll do 5,500 miles to a 19 litre drum. Once it's down to about 4,500 miles, it'll then give you a warning that it needs AdBlue, and you can just top it up. So once you've done 4,500 miles, it'll give you a warning, which will leave 1,500 miles uncounted for. So it'll tell you that you're now ready for AdBlue. Tyre pressures, so 5.5 bar, which is 79.5 psi all round. Engine batteries underneath the cab floor, so just take the tabs off the corners and you'll be able to lift this cover up and view the engine battery should you need to put a charger on there or change the battery in years to come. That's how you would do it. Toolkit, so jack and a brace and a tone eye in there, and bonnet release is on the side of the dashboard. So we'll have a quick look underneath the bonnet. The main liquid you're going to need to check is your screen wash, which is in this top corner here. So with you using the van, you're going to use a lot of screen wash in the summer with the flies on the windscreen, so that's your screen wash. Lift this cover off with the 3 tabs and you can fill your engine coolant. Brake fluid, engine oil. There's no engine oil dipstick because it's done remotely via the dash electronically, and there's no power steering fluid because the new Ducatos do have electronic steering. You've got your paint code, and then you've got an earth for giving or receiving a jump start because the battery's underneath the cab floor. And then if you go between the air filter and the headlight, you've got this square long box here. Put your key in the side and lift this up. This is your positive terminal for giving or receiving a jump start. Then you have your weight plate here, so 3.5 ton gross vehicle weight, 5.5 ton train weight, so you've got a 2 ton tone limit, and your SGE number along the bottom, which is unique to each Elddis vehicle, is your build number. So should you ever need any parts, quote that number and we'll be able to get the right parts for your vehicle. To operate the Dometic awnings on the CV range, get your winding handle, pop it in at the front, wind the awning out. We want to wind it out until we can reach inside of the inner canopy, which is here. So keep going to about there. And then to get your legs out, push here, fold it down, lift the plastic tab up and pull the plastic tab out. So push the leg up. You want that to come out. Like so. So adjust the telescopic height to suit. Put both legs down, so we'll do it again. Push it in. Hold the leg out. Lift it. So you want to lift it up. Push it out. Just the telescopic height. Push that down, which locks the leg in place. Then what you want to do is wind and walk the awning out until you're happy. Peg the feet. If you want in a driveway kit, you've got a C-rail on the front here, so you can adjust a driveway air blown awning on there. But make sure that when you leave the vehicle unattended, you go into bed, the awning always comes in, because you can damage the awning or damage the vehicle. And to fold your leg like so, just put them back away. Bring the awnings in and don't use them in wind speeds over 15 miles an hour, because you will cause damage to your vehicle, someone else's, or your awning, and they're very expensive to replace. And then if the winding handle is stuck, push it in and turn it without bringing the awning out, and then that is your Dometic awning. Once inside the vehicle, this is the Elddis 12 volt control panel. So you've got your master switch in the top left, which will turn the vehicle on or off. If you're hooked up, it'll turn off and on the 230 volt. If you're not hooked up, it'll just turn on the 12 volt off your leisure battery. So make sure that you do have enough charge in that battery. Next to it you have your pump. So making sure that you've got enough water on, you can turn your pump on. And that'll pressurise your taps, toilet and shower. If you don't have that on, you'll just get whatever's left in the lines and it'll just fade out. Master switch for your lights, which is this one here. And then they all are individually switched around the vehicle. And then you've got your awning light, which is the one on the bottom right, which is the light on the outside of the van. Leisure battery reading, which is this one here. Take the hook out to get a true reading of the battery, and then you do have your fresh water reading there. So we've probably got about 30 litres of water in there. It shows there. Entrance light on the main control panel. So to work your heating and hot water, you've got two dials. So you've got your hot water and your heating. So all you need to do is the touch sensitive. So just wave your hand in front of them and it'll activate the motion. So starting off, you do have your frost protection mode, which is approximately 5 degrees. So if you don't want your hot water on, but you don't want the water to freeze, if you're away and it's going to drop below freezing overnight, just pop it on frost protection mode and that'll keep it above freezing at around 5 degrees. Press the plus and you can go to your next setting, which is 40 degrees if heating your water. And then press again and you've got 60 degrees. So depending on how hot your water, you can adjust it between 40 and 60 degrees. Bottom two is your source, so press, this is your gas. This is now your gas on standby on blue. Give it a couple of minutes and that'll go to orange, and that means it's pulled the gas through and it's firing on gas. But you'd use gas to heat your water if you were in desperate need of water or if you were wild camping. Because if you've paid your site fees, then why waste your gas? So, which you'd use your electric. So you've got 3 little dots above it. So one dot is 750 watts of electric. 2 dots is 1800 watts of electric. and then 3 dots is 3 kilowatts of electric. So depending on how much this site gives you in amperage through your hookah bleed will determine whether you use 1, 2 or 3 kilowatts. But normally on most sites you can get away with using 2. You'd have to be on a real super pitch to use 3 kilowatts because you may trip your vehicle or the site. As you can tell, they're both active now because I've gone to orange. So the gas is working and the electric's working. You can use gas and electric together if you're away in the winter and you're in desperate need of either heating or hot water. But you would turn the gas off if you're on a site because you wouldn't want to waste your gas. Because you've paid their site fees, you want to use their electric. This is the heating. So again, you've got frost protection mode, so that'll keep the van above 5 degrees. And then you've got a one of a moon, which is nighttime mode, which keeps the interior temperature of the vehicle at approximately 16 degrees. Then you can adjust it. So there's about 20 degrees and right the way around is 30 degrees max. Gas on standby, give it a minute, that'll go to orange and it'll mean that it's heating the vehicle on gas. Or you can use electric, so press and hold, it'll go through one dot being 750 watts, 2 dots being 1800 watts and 3 dots being 3 kilowatts of electric to heat the vehicle. You've got 2 reset buttons here, so if it locks out you'll get a red exclamation mark down the side, which just means it's failed. Press and hold these buttons here on whichever one that's failed and it will reset the system.
Sorted?
Gas level indicator, which is only on the CV range as they're fitted with a 25 litre underslung tank. So just turn it on, it's showing green, means it's full. Once it shows red, it's time to refill your 25 litre gas tank by visiting your LPG station and filling it up. To operate the Thetford 12 volt compressor fridge, turn on and off here by just pressing and holding. So that's off, that's on. You can go up and down for the temperature, 5 being the coolest. So if you are pre-chilling the van before you put or pre-chilling the fridge even before you put the shopping in, put it on full. Once you pop your shopping in, drop it down. So just press and hold, drop it down, just so it doesn't freeze your fridge. And then you do have nighttime mode, which is this blue moon here, which you can turn. On, and it'll lower the decibels of the fridge so it's not as loud for when you're sleeping. When not using the vehicle, just leave the fridge door ajar by putting the blue clip into the middle of the hinge, just to stop the smells from forming in the fridge, because the air will be trapped if you do shut that door. Freezer box, 2 drawers, and then 2 bins on your door for your bottles. In the kitchen area, you've got 2 gas rings, which are both lit there. So once you've had any of the gas rings on, so you've got 2 gas and 1 electric, you've got to be hooked up to mains power for this to work. Allow all the hobs to cool down so that they're cool enough to touch before you put the hob top down, otherwise there is a chance that you could shatter it. And then below, you've got your grill. Top tip, just hold it in a little bit longer till the thermocouple gets warm before releasing, and then it'll stay lit. And then below that you've got your oven. You may want to take your oven shelf and grill pan out when travelling, or wrap them up as they can cause a little bit of noise when on the road. Storage drawer underneath the oven. storage here, storage drawers, so you've got 4 drawers down the side, remembering to press the catch in to close the door before you travel, with another 230-volt socket here, light switch, plate rack, plug for the microwave should you ever need to isolate it, and this is an 800 watt Russell Hobbs main power microwave, so again be hooked up for that to work. Right underneath the oven you do have your whale boiler. So it is a underslung boiler, but it's very important that in the winter, when we're suffering from colder weather, that the vehicle is drained down, because you wouldn't want the water to freeze in the boiler overnight with the water being in, unless you've got it in use and you're using it. So if you're not using it and it's parked in the storage yard or parked in the drive and you've got no intentions of using it for either 5 days, a couple of months, drain the water off, because if not, it's not covered under warranty, because it's the user's responsibility to drain the water off. And to drain it off, what you'd do is you'd come in, no power, no pump, this is your drain down tap, point that to the driver's side of the vehicle, leave it open in this position, open all the taps throughout the vehicle, so kitchen, hand basin, removing the shower head from the shower hose and laying that down in the shower tray so just no water coils up in that pipe. Opening the fresh and the waste from outside, drain it all off. When you come to use it, close the fresh and the waste outside, close the boiler, put it back into this position, close all the taps, fill the vehicle via the hose pipe with fresh water. Come in, put the control panel on, put the pump on and go to the cold side of the tap first. You'll get an automatic pressure of cold water coming through the tap, because it's drawn it from the freshwater tank underneath the van via the pump straight up to the tap. When you slowly move it to the hot side, you'll notice it starts coughing and spluttering and the water doesn't come through as easy as on the cold. And what that's doing is it's just purging the system of water into the boiler, so it's pressurizing the boiler basically. So it's drawing it from the underslung tank underneath the van 10 litres into this boiler before it then comes out the boiler to the hot tap. So do that on one tap. Once you get a free flow of water from the tap, it's good to go, it's primed for the season. Try all the others, and then basically you only need to drain it down in the winter. In the summer you can leave the water in it as much as you want, because we don't get colder weather. But remember, drain it down, because if not, it's a costly mistake to make and it's not covered under warranty. So to operate your microwave on the CV60, as it's in a different place, it's just behind the driver's seat on the 60, not above the kitchen like it is on the other models. It is an 800 watt Russell Hobbs microwave, so you've got to be hooked up for it to work. It's plugged in underneath here, so should you ever need to unplug it, you can there. But that switch doesn't work the light, it works the microwave. So you can turn it off, and the microwave goes off, and it'll beep and it'll come back on. So you've got a main switch at the back, 2 USBs, a 3-pin plug socket when hooked up, some storage underneath here. Obviously you can spin your seats, pop your table in at the front with the leg, and you can use the front as a dining space as well with the added counter here. So now in the washroom, which is a combined toilet shower cubicle, you've got your shower head that comes out of your sink, and then you can clip it up there and have a shower. And there's a curtain that goes on the track, or you can just use it as your hand basin tap by sliding the pipe back behind As long as the pump's on, you'll be able to get a pressurised flow of water. And that is your warm water heating up there. And the plug just pushes in and out. So that's red hot water there. So that means your water system's working fine. Press the travel catches in behind the cupboard. Then you've got some toiletry cabinets. This is a special sponge to wipe out the plastic lining shower tray. If you're going to use any chemicals, don't use anything too harsh, and use a microfiber to wipe down after. So use something like a spray instead of a bleach, just to spray and clean your toilet area. Nothing too harsh because it'll discolour the white to yellow. To operate the toilet, make sure the pump's on. You can press your blue button, which is your flush. So always flush the toilet first and put a little bit of water in, because it keeps the seal between the toilet and the blade, which is the top of the cassette, lubricated. So a little bit of water in first, then you want to open the blade. The blade handle is this grey handle. So pull it towards you. You can now see it's open. You can get your hands into the cassette. Use the toilet with the blade open, flush after use, and then slide back to the left. It doesn't take any pink liquid, it is just drawn from the freshwater tank. So if you've got any pink, what I would do is get an empty spray bottle, dilute it, spray the bowl, flush, and then close the blade. It'll do the same job. It'll clean the bowl, it'll give a fragrant smell in the washroom. And then when the cassette is full, you'll get a light underneath the diagram of the cassette. Toilet roll holder, toothbrush holder, and then some shelves either side. Blackout blind on the fly screen, skylights around, and then open it. You can open it both together. You can tilt one side, you can pull one side in and keep one side up. It all depends on which way the wind's blowing, so you can always have it open for ventilation. And then you've got two towel holders on the towel rail just there. And then a vent for the heater, so you can have it on or off. But these come in handy if you've been out walking the dogs and you've got wet coats. Hang them in there, put the heating on, shut the door, smallest place in the van, they'll dry out in no time. So in the cupboard at the back, you've got your solar panel charger, so your MPPT solar charge controller. So that's charging your leisure battery, and there's a fuse on there. And then above you've got your Teleco aerial booster, so it's a fixed aerial. So what you can do is you can boost and weaken the amplifier. Should it be too strong or too weak, you can adjust it here to get the right signal wherever you are. So to make the day bed on the CV60, so this is what the day bed looks like. So you can use it as a sofa at the back if you wish. And then to make it into the bed for an evening, lift and slide this out, just like so. And then pull the bed forward, drop this little bit in the back, the infill, like so, as it comes in two. And there you have your fringe bed at the back of the vehicle. And then all you need to do is take this forward, push this back in, pop that back up like so, and then push the lats in. And there you have enough space to walk up and down the van and get all your cupboards and lockers for your various bits and pieces. So to operate the Max-View Roamer system, there's an antenna on the roof that gets 10 times your phone signal. So if you think of your phone, if you're struggling to pick up a signal, this is going to pick up that signal, because it's going to pick up the stronger signal, because it's got the antenna on the roof and it'll amplify it 10 times what your phone, because your phone only has a little mass in to receive 4G and 3G signals. This picks up 3G and 4G signals stronger because it's got the antenna in the vehicle and it's got an antenna on the roof. So you can pop a SIM card in the side and then connect your device to it. So once it's turned on, you want to go into your settings and you want to find, and that's the device name. So RUT 240_7800, and you want to connect to that. The code to connect it is on the back of the router, so push up on the wall mounted bracket, it'll release the modem, and then you've got the pin on the back there on the bottom line. And then you can also use this for hotspots, so you can, if the site, so wherever you're located, if there's a cafe nearby that's got Wi-Fi, you can connect to their Wi-Fi through the Roma Maxu system, and then you can boost it into your vehicle so you get a stronger signal inside for your devices. Or if you're on a site and they've got Wi-Fi but the site block where the Wi-Fi is a little further than your motorhome, you can connect to their site Wi-Fi, boost it with the amplifier and the aerial on top of the vehicle, and then connect your phones to it. So you can connect up to 50 devices to this, I believe. Or if you want to use the vehicle if you're working from home and you're using it as an office, you can connect 2 Ethernet cables into the side, into your laptops, into your computers, and you can use it that way as well. But for the SIM card, you'll need to ask for a data only SIM card if you're going to use it for a data only SIM card, and then you're not using the data off your phone. Or if you're just hotspotting, you don't really need a SIM card. So in the cab, which is based on a Series 8 Fiat Ducato, which is the latest model out onto the market on the Ducato, you've got your handbrake down between the driver's seat and the door on the right of the driver, and then you've got driver and passenger electric windows, followed by electric mirror adjustment. So you've got 2 mirrors you can adjust on each side, the bottom one being the blind spot, the big one being your main mirror. So you can adjust that electronically via joystick on the front of the driver's door card. Headlight adjustment, rear fog lights, and then you can turn off your stop start if you don't want it on, but that'll only work should the battery have sufficient charge in it. Wipers, so you can push up for one wipe, and then you've got to adjust this for the end of the stalk for your frequency of the wipers. So up once for one wipe, end of the stalk for constant wiping of the windscreen when it's raining. Indicators and lights, and obviously a high beam flash. Automatic lights, just leave them on automatic, they'll come on with the sensor when it detects it's dark, which is up here. Cruise control, turning it on and off here, and then you can set it once you get your desired speed up and down. You can cancel it here, or cancel it with a foot brake and resume it to the last speed set, or you can go to your limiter, which is your, so it'll say speed limiter ready, and then you can go up and down and set the limiter, so when you accelerate it'll only go to that, but if you push the accelerator flat to the floor, it'll override the speed limiter, as it's a safety feature in case you were getting cut up or you were trying to avoid a collision. You can go through your instrument cluster, so it tells you your range, and then if you go right, it tells you your distance travelled. Go right again, tells you your average speed. Distance travelled trip B, average speed trip B, so you've got 2 trip computers, or you've got a digital speedometer. Oil level oil temperature, oil life, battery voltage, AdBlue level, 100% of AdBlue on board, service, no alert, so it's not telling you to top AdBlue up, it's not telling you that your engine oil's low, it's not telling you that any doors are open. Vehicle setup, and then you've got your speedometer again. Fuel's on the bottom here of the speedo, and temperature is on the bottom of the rev count. You've got two buttons behind the steering wheel on both sides. So you've got this one here which does your skip, so it scrolls through your audio, your radio stations, your media, and then you've got your volume this side on there. 6-speed manual gearbox with lifter collar into reverse. Obviously red shows the back bumper, middle shows where a tow bar would be if there was a tow bar fitted, and the swing of the vehicle, and then you've got orange and red which shows the distance. Obviously we do offer the CV range in automatic as well, but as standard they do come as a 6-speed manual. Traction control on and off, locks the doors including the back doors as it's a van conversion, on and off for the head unit and the volume, and your heated mirrors, and then your fog lights, and then your hazard lights, sorry, on there. .12V, so you've got two, you've got a standard, and then you've got the new 12. You've got a standard USB, and then you've got the new USB-C, and then the 12V. Lockable glove box with a standard USB at the back for the head unit. So these just charge devices, that does the head unit, which I'll get onto in a moment. On the outside ring, on the left hand side, you've got your temperature. Inside you've got your fan speed, must be on 1 or more for the aircon to work, which is this button here. Outside ring on the right, you've got your distribution, so whether it goes to face, feet or screen. And then you do have whether you're bringing fresh air in or you're circulating air within the motorhome. Head unit, so it's the new Fiat head unit from Fiat themselves. So home, you can go on, you can click and you can go on to DAB, and you can search for your DAB stations, which goes 1 to 6, or you can go to 10, 15, so you can go to 15 really, so you can save 15 of your favourite tracks there, or you can go to FM if you're not getting a good enough DAB station. But you can browse all and you can scroll through them to find the station that you want, and then you press and hold to save that station. All presets, obviously 15 of them, you can save whatever one number you want to your favourite station. So that's the radio, it's just quite straightforward. Phone, no phone connected, would you like to pair phone? You want to press yes, and then you want to go on your phone, you go into your settings and go into your Bluetooth, scroll down and you want to find Uconnect. You want to pair with it, press yes on here, press yes on there, the pins are matching, pairing in process. Ask you if you want to allow your contacts to be saved, just press allow. Whoever rings you'll come up with a name if they're saved instead of just a number. As my phone's Apple, it's Apple CarPlay, so it's wireless, you don't need to plug it in, you can put your phone in your pocket. As soon as you get in the vehicle, it goes on to Apple CarPlay. So here you can see it uses Apple Maps. You've got your music in the bottom corner, You can click onto your phone, click onto your music, you can click onto your maps, so you can use the iPhone maps and on the vehicle. So it then includes a sat nav. You've got your messages, you've got Uconnect, so it goes back to the standard software of the radio, so you can change the radio station if you want the radio on instead of your music on Apple Music, Spotify. We've got your settings, so if you go back there, you can then go into the bottom one, which is the vehicle. You can select all the vehicle settings in here and go back to home. But it is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well, wirelessly. Glove box. Top box, which is heated and cooled by the air conditioning. And then to pull this up, a lot of people struggle with this. Hand in the middle. Don't be afraid. Give it a good pull. Clip on the side, opens the jaws. You can then pop your phone in, lock it into place. That's not going anywhere. It's locked in for your phone or a sat nav.